I'll introduce you. I can introduce you.
Thanks.
So tonight's class is on mixology. So using our oils in mixed drinks, whether they are water drinks or alcoholic beverages or smoothies or teas or coffees. This is kind of a passion of Lacey's, and so asked her if she'd be interested in doing a little class on this. So her and I just ran through it real quick here a little bit ago, and I learned a lot. It was very interesting, and had to definitely go make myself a little sangria. And so you'll get that recipe in a little bit. She's going to teach you some tips and tricks. She's going to give you lots of recipes. So I don't know if you want to have your phone handy to take some pictures, but we will post this on Essentially Rooted also, so you can go back and rewatch it. So I'm going to mute myself. She's going to share screen with you. Sit back and enjoy some of the great information that she's going to teach you about using oils in your drinks.
All right. Thanks, Jenna. So we can go ahead. I'll just get this started here. So mixology, so we're going to go over the craft of mixing different ingredients for beverages. We're going to go over, like Jenna said, coffees, teas, what I like to call elixirs. If you ask me, putting oils and stuff is kind of like a potion. We're going to go over some refreshers, smoothies, and I put cocktails at the bottom, so you all have to stay through it. So through these drinks, you're going to see some recipes made with simple syrup, which is a 1-to-1 ratio of water and sugar. Instead of using sugar, we have some healthy alternatives. Coconut sugar, agave nectar, vanilla extract, honey, making sure that you get local honey from your local beekeepers. Not only does it help them, but it helps the bees, and it can help with your allergies as well. And for those that are on a 0-calorie diet, we have stevia. Some sweeteners that we want to avoid. Here we have aspartame, your sweet and low, neotame. These are all lab-based. They are chemically made and they are synthetic. So what happens when you use synthetics in your body is your body doesn't know how to get rid of it. So it stores it, or it comes out in places like acne. So we want to make sure that we try to stay away from those. Your plant-based ones is your typical table sugar, glucose, sucrose, and stevia is also plant-based. I also put it over here though because it is also highly processed. So both of those are made through a lab, even though they are plant-based. So on to coffees, being my favorite drink. On the left here, you can see some yummy ingredients that you can add to any of the drinks on the right. Lavender white mochas are very popular around here. My favorite is called a bee sting. It is with honey and cinnamon. It's really yummy. On guard hot chocolates. Wild orange steamers for kids. They tend to love that one. Up next here we have some tea recipes. And I can kind of let you take a look here. Does everybody kind of know what matcha is? If not, I can tell you, I guess. It is a Japanese green tea. It's the entire stem and the leaves all ground up into a fine powder. So it has actually more antioxidants than your typical green tea. It does kind of taste like seaweed, but you can sweeten it with coconut milk. Rose, lavender, those are all good things to mix with your matcha. Sleepy time tea. So adding banana peels. Banana has a lot of potassium and magnesium, which is a natural, muscle relaxant. So that's good to add to your teas at night. We've got the Find Your Love language with some lang lang in it. Help you get in the mood a little bit. and chai tea. So this is a homemade chai tea, which is just steeped English breakfast, and then you could add a drop of all of those and a teaspoon of honey to sweeten it up a little bit if you don't like it as spicy. Star anise is a fruit that is actually grown from a Chinese evergreen that is used in there. You can usually find that at Whole Food stores. All right, on to some yummy teas, especially for this time of year. The second one here we have called bubble tea, also known as boba tea. So it is made with tapioca pearls. Tapioca is a starch that comes from the cassava root. The texture of it is kind of like frothy and creamy, kind of what you would find like at the bottom of a melted milkshake. It's the texture that these pearls give. So people love that around here. You can sweeten it in simple syrup or just add essential oil flavors to it. Over on the very right, we have kombucha, which some people know about. Some are just getting to learn about it. It is actually also called mushroom tea because it is fermented with what we call SCOBY, which is an acronym for something bacteria and yeast. So it has a little bit of alcohol, about 1%, kind of what you would find in vanilla extract. There's tons and tons of different flavors that you could use for kombucha. If you don't want to grow your own SCOBY, you can find kits at your home brewing store or your Whole Food store as well. And kombucha has lots of health benefits as well. The citrus tea I left pretty open. Any green tea with any kind of mint and really any kind of citrus blend goes pretty well together, whether if it's spearmint and wild orange, or I've done wintergreen and lemon. Sounds funky, but it's actually pretty good. Up next here we have fire cider. So there is a lot going on in this. Fire cider is your immune booster and flu fighting concoction here. It looks like a lot. It is, but I tell you what, it's actually really yummy. Ginger, turmeric, thyme, On Guard, put some onion, jalapeno in there, honey, top it with apple cider, just put it in a mason jar. You can put it, you can just put it in your cupboard and it's good up to a month. You can put it in your fridge and just take drinks of that when you need some extra boost, I guess. You can add even more stuff to that if you'd like as well. Some people put horseradish. I'm not a fan, so I left it out. Here is some essential golden milk, also known as turmeric milk. Kind of a fun recipe for this, using a lot of essential oils as well. So instead of putting turmeric essential oil in it, to make it golden, that's where we get the color from, is using the actual herb itself. But you could swap it if you'd like. This is good at night. It's typically served warm. That also makes you feel good. So this is what I'm calling elixir. So here's a group of, there's a lot of mix and matching going on here. Fruit infused water, if you need, something different. These are some that you maybe wouldn't think to put together, but they all taste pretty good. You can change the base if you don't want to use water. We do what we call refreshers sometimes when you use juice or lemonade and still mix these in there. That is good as well. Vodka is a good base for these. And these are good mixes for smoothies as well. So there's a lot. And I kind of strayed away from your probably most popular ones, raspberry mint, those kinds of things, because I thought maybe everybody could see something a little different here. All right, some smoothie recipes. Pinterest is a good go-to if you need some ideas and then just put a couple splashes, but here's some good ones for you. And you can obviously swap out the milk, whether your preference is hemp, rice, soy, cream. All right, on to the good part, the cocktails and mocktails. So all of these can be made with or without alcohol. First up, Bloody Mary. Around here, this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Adding rosemary, lemon, lime, black pepper, and wild orange into some tomato juice tastes just as good as well if you don't want to add all these other things that are also added. You can put as many dashes of hot sauce as you'd like, depending on the kind of heat that you like to go with. Watermelon basil margaritas. These are nice refreshers during the summertime here. 2-ounce tequila, some lime, lemon, basil, watermelon, fresh or frozen, pinch of salt, some agave nectar, ice. Bergamot lemon mojito. Fun one. I like to swap this one out with the raspberry and mint. That's pretty good too. Grapefruit and rosemary. That's a nice mix. Your gin and tonic. Does anybody know what the main ingredient of gin is? No? Juniper berry is the main ingredient in gin. In fact, it cannot be classified as gin unless it has enough juniper berry taste in it. So gin is, it's kind of good for you. Moderation, I guess. The blackberry Moscow mules. You could also put a drop of ginger in there if you wanted some more as well. sangria. This is what Jenna is sipping on at the moment. Got rose, geranium, and wild orange. And your choice of wine. The blood orange mimosa. It's pretty much sangria with juice. Told Jenna the splashing could be backwards. It might be a splash of champagne and mostly orange juice, but this is a good route to go. And for the whiskey drinkers, so I guess that is really actually all of it. I'm gonna unmute you guys and see if you have any questions. That was really quick. It's just a lot of drinks and concoctions here. And I can go back if need be, and so if anybody wants to take more pictures.
Lacey, I know that there was a question about what is muddled. What does it mean to muddle something?
Oh, smush it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I must have missed that in the chat. Sorry.
That's all right. Mel knew it.
Oh, okay. So thanks. I was gonna say muddled, whether it's like muddled mint or berries, you just smush it down to release the juices. It's kind of like pushing out the oils, I guess. You kind of get a taste them a little bit more. Some people spank them, like spanked rosemary. We put it between our hands and we spank it, and that releases more of the flavor if you're using the actual herb. Yep.
Right.
How to spank herbs. Does anybody else have any more questions? It's a lot of drinks. There's a lot. You could probably come up with 10,000 different concoctions here on what to put in. So I guess it's just some ideas to get you started. Some new drink ideas along with like the bubble tea, matcha, kombucha, those kinds of things.
The one suggestion that I was going to make when Lacey and I were talking was that I offered the suggestion of when you're if you're doing a smoothie. Lacey, let's see, I think if you exit the screen, girl, we can see everyone.
Oh, okay. Stop share. Oh.
There you go. There you go. But I was telling her, I said, if you're making a smoothie, I don't know if anybody knows this trick, but put all your ingredients in your jar, whether it be a quart jar or just a pint jar, as long as it's a smallmouth one. You can put all your ingredients in there. And if you have a blender at home, take the bottom of the blender off. So just, and attach it, and then put the pitcher part to the side, and take the bottom of it and turn it upside down and screw it on the top of your smallmouth jar, and then turn everything upside down and put it on your blender, and then you can blend everything in your mason jar. So then after it's blended, take it off your blender, take the lid off, and then everything's blended right in there, and drink it straight from your mason jar.
Yeah.
People have bullets and all that, and you get the fancy ones, but a blender works just as well. So
less dishes. We like that.
right? Yeah. Mix it all in there and drink it from there. So yeah. What else? It seemed like I had another question as you were going through there that I was going to ask. New muddling was the one. Yeah. Oh, tell us more about the tapioca. When I looked at those in the smoothie or the drink ones where the tapioca was in there, when I see tapioca, I think of the little round clear, and those were black.
Yeah, so these are actually called, like, they call it tapioca or boba. So boba is probably the more correct word. They're actually smaller, but when you boil them, they become bigger, where what you get for an instant tapioca is granulates. So they're a lot smaller. And this is made from the starch, so they're actually black in color.
Hmm.
Yep, but they're actually pretty flavorless. They don't have a lot of nutrition. They just have a really fun texture for drinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
it'd be like a filler in a sense?
yeah, so it's usually tea, black or green tea, and then topped with a sweetened milk, and then those are put at the bottom, and then you can add any kind of flavor that you want. And sometimes they make flavored tapioca pearls now, or jellies. Sometimes we do little jellies in them. So like jalapeno jellies, which sounds crazy, but with grapefruit is pretty yummy. Grapefruit and rosemary topped off. It's a pretty good one with water instead of milk. So
So I
yeah,
found it interesting, the combination of some of the oils. So a person probably just has to kind of play with it a little bit to see what they like, huh?
yeah. Here's what all those things that we get for diffusing blends. My idea is if it smells good, it probably tastes good. So just go for it. I mean, it's weird, just start mixing and matching. Sometimes you'll get like the pumpkin pie diffuser blend during the fall time. A lot of those you could probably just put in warm milk or a tea, and it would probably taste pretty close to your pumpkin pie or be pretty yummy. So that's how a lot of those are made.
I wasn't real sure. You know, my sangria that I'm drinking has rose in it and geranium. I thought that's kind of an odd combo, but it's very good. And I just put it in like a white wine base and
Looks good.
something different. I couldn't come to class and not have something like that. So.
Yeah, I should have made some, I guess, for you all. Could have made that Bloody Mary with.
No, I will say the Bloody Mary looked really good, and for breakfast it did have shrimp and a piece of bacon on it, so you know it had the protein in there. So
You could do waffles and chicken instead.
there you go. Yeah, and
We do that on a stick on the side. I'm serious. We go to some places where there's cheeseburgers, like put on top of them. So they really are a meal once you add everything in, just veggies. So beef jerky sticks, you name it. You put whatever you want in a Bloody Mary. That's pretty good.
Has anybody else used any of the oils for drinks like this? I know we kind of talk about it in our classes when we do our classes. I mean, most everyone puts a lot of the citrus oils in their waters. Most of you all know that I love putting cassia in my water, like that hot water in the wintertime with some cassia. But has anybody tried any other drinks with them?
Well, I put peppermint in my hot chocolate, but not like she's gonna make me some stuff when she comes home. When she comes down for the convention, we'll put her in charge. We could do that, right?
Karen Nedved says she puts cassia and ginger in her smoothies.
Oh, yum. Yeah.
Oh.
That would be good.
Yeah. Cassia would be boost your metabolism for sure. So that's a good metabolism booster.
Yeah, we like being healthy in our drinks, even when we're drinking.
Yeah. Makes you feel like you can drink more because it's healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I got a couple of people I can say I just put spearmint in their drinks, and they loved it. They fell in love. And that's where they got hooked at. They were like, I want to try more. I think we were just sitting around having a couple, and I had a bottle and just did a couple drops, and they're like, I need to come to a class. So sometimes, I mean, just putting spiking somebody's drink, it might be the way to go.
What do you find with what you do, and you make a lot of different drinks? What do you find is the most popular? What oil do you use most often, and in what way?
So in coffee, I would say lavender or cinnamon. Lavender goes really good with vanilla. It goes good with white chocolate. Cinnamon is a good one. People like that in hot chocolate, white chocolate, just regular coffee with honey. That's my favorite. When it comes to teas, that London Fog is huge. That's a big one around here, and I think a lot of people are starting to enjoy that as well.
I think
As
that
far-
London Fog is the one that Karen Nedved, I think you're on mute and no camera, but Karen, I think you said that that was a drink that you enjoyed, and I assume you put your oils in there. Yeah, so
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
London Fog is awesome with the bergamot and lavender.
yeah, bergamot.
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Good one.
awesome. Oh, Debbie has a note in here: tangerine in her prosecco.
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 Yo, Jenna.
Sorry, this is not my cup of tea. I drink wine straight out of a brown bag if I need to. I'm not a fancy drinker.
Yes, cinnamon bark. Yep. Cassie
Awesome.
would be a good mix or substitute for that as well.
What is Debbie talking about? Give me more on that one so I know what she's saying. Or Debbie, you can unmute yourself and educate me. Champagne, I got it. Okay. If you say champagne, I'm good, girl.
Yeah, Prosecco, baby. I'm gonna introduce you. When you come to Texas, we're having some Prosecco.
I'll bring the oil.
Yeah. I can't wait to tell Jane about this. I cannot.
Don't tattle on me.
What is Prosecco? Prosecco. I'm just dying. I'm dying here. I cannot wait. I'm sending you some champagne.
I love you. Oh, too funny.
I love you. Try it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. I got it.
That sounds
I'm
yummy.
surprised those other Texas girls are on here.
A splash of blood orange something. What was that? I guess tell me on that. Is that a juice?
Yeah, you can find or fresh squeezed blood orange. That would be delicious in your champagne or prosecco. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Just a splash of the OJ though.
It's a splash.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any more questions or comments in regards to the drinks?
Right.
This was awesome. I really appreciate your time that you put into this, Lacey. It's interesting. I guess it opens seems like every time we have a class, it kind of opens my mind to new ways to use the oils. They're not just for a diffuser or for a perfume, which some people think. So I love the ideas of being able to try them in different ways. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You can still ask questions in regards to the mixology if you want. Lacey's probably going to stay on here, but let's open it up to any other questions people might have. Anything this past week or that's come up, and or if you're looking for tips, tricks, or protocols, let's try to answer some of those.
Mona had a question
Oh, go ahead, Mona.
about cinnamon and cinnamon bark.
Oh,
Oh, you got it?
I answered it.
Yeah, she answered that. Cinnamon.
Okay.
Yep. Lacey, if you want to take off the recording, we can probably end that part.